Greetings to all the viewers. The session is going to cover with the natural product called alpha terpineol. Alpha terpineol is the compound where you can see a six-membered cyclic ring is present where methyl group is there, and here is the double bond, and another end of the carbon is accompanied by this carbon with a 2-methyl over there and 1 hydroxy is there. This is said to be what? Tertiary hydroxy. This is the entire skeleton of alpha terpineol. It is the part of terpenoid, and we can say essential oil, right? So here the session is going to cover with from where you are going to extract this alpha terpineol, then what is the biosynthetic pathway for this one, and what analytical tools we are using in order to confirm the structural skeleton of this alpha terpineol. Later on, can we synthesize the same compound in the laboratory scale? Is this a laboratory viable method for the synthesis? Later on, we will go for in what way we will apply this compound in our daily life. This is the way the content alpha terpineol is going to be covered. First, let's see the intro regarding this alpha terpineol. Alpha terpineol is a naturally occurring monoterpenoid. Monoterpenoid denotes what? Whenever two isoprene units are going to be joined, that is said to be monoterpenoid. Isoprene unit is composed by C5. When two isoprenes are combining, C10 is the what molecular formula for that? So it is the kind of monoterpenoid we can say. And here is the alcohol. Hydroxy group is accompanied with the molecular formula C10He18O. It is the kind of hydrocarbon only where you can find hydroxy, so that one oxygen is also possessed by the compound. It is the cyclic compound derived from the isoprene units. So isoprene is the fundamental for all terpenoids. Isoprene is the essential core component from which all kind of terpenoids will be manufactured. So that isoprene units are present. Two isoprene units, if combined, there is a possibility for monoterpenoid, being it is a cyclic one. We can find endocyclic double bond over there, right? So it is the part of essential oil. All the terpenes are essential oils, we can say. And from various plants, we are going to extract this compound, like pine tree will be there, lime, you're going to extract from, and eucalyptus tree. From all these, you are going to extract this kind of essential oil called alpha terpineol. Let's see the structure and its properties for alpha terpineol. IUPAC nomenclature is provided. IUPAC stands for International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. According to IUPAC, the name is provided as 4-terpineol or P-menth-1-ene-8-ol. So both the alternative names are provided for this compound called alpha terpineol. 4-terpineol is the IUPAC name for this one. And the molecular formula just now we assigned C10H18O is the molecular formula. And molar mass will be 154.25 gram per mole, right? This is the molar mass for the compound appearance. It is the colorless or else a pale yellow color in nature. So it is the liquid. Being essential oils are liquids in nature in general. So it is a colorless or else a pale yellow color liquid. It will be, sometimes it may exist in the form of water solid in nature. Lilac-like aroma smell. So aroma smell is the characteristic property for the terpene oils. Essential oils are characteristic in their fragrance, right? So lilac-like aroma smell is the characteristic for the compound called alpha terpineol. And its solubility. Sparingly soluble in water, being it is an organic compound, most prone to dissolve in the organic solvents itself, like ethanol and ether kind of compounds rather than water. Water miscibility will be certain extent, we can say sparingly soluble, right? This is the way brief info is provided for the compound called alpha terpineol. Let's go with the plants from which we are going to extract this. Here is the pine tree. Pine trees are coniferous in nature, which are found in the mountainous regions. So such kind of plantations are more economic in the extraction of alpha terpineol, and from the lime also it is possible to extract this alpha terpineol. Eucalyptus trees, everybody aware about this one. Eucalyptus, from which oil extracted is having highest potential of medicinal value, and this lemon is a very prime source of vitamin C. This is the way all these are the starting materials in order to extract this alpha terpineol, being it is a natural compound can be extracted from the nature in this manner. Now we entered into how its extraction is possible. How can we extract this oil from starting from this pine tree, or else from citrus, or else from this eucalyptus tree? Natural extraction is carried in such a way it can be extracted from the essential oils of the plants, either from the pine or else in the byproduct of turpentine oil. So during the manufacturing of turpentine oil, that is also extracted from these pine trees only. So during the extraction of turpentine oil, this alpha terpineol is a kind of byproduct over there. This is the way natural extraction will be carried. Now we have a segment called biosynthesis. How can we synthesize this material within the plant? Being it is a natural product, what is the pathway for the synthesis within the plants? So that biosynthetic pathway is elaborated over here. A biosynthesis of alpha terpineol, that is the monoterpenoid, it will be occurs in the nature in the plants through the mevalonic acid pathway. Mevalonic acid pathway is a common methodology in order to synthesize most of the terpenes. In the mevalonic acid pathway, we can start the method with acetyl coenzyme A. Later on, acetoacetyl coenzyme A will be transformed, and that will be further modified into 3-hydroxy 3-methyl glutenyl coenzyme A, which is abbreviated as HMG coenzyme A. Hydroxymethyl glutaryl coenzyme A will be prepared. That can be subjected to reduction process, giving rise to mevalonic acid. Mevalonic acid will be synthesized. Mevalonic acid pathway will be followed over there. That mevalonic acid pathway is the most important methodology natural route for the synthesis of terpenoids. Now we entered into what are the basic steps involved in the biosynthetic pathway of this alpha terpineol. Formation of isopentenyl diphosphate is required. Isopentenyl diphosphate and its isomeric form called dimethyl allyl diphosphate. These are the compounds most commonly observed for all terpenes. Whatever we discussed in the earlier sessions, there also we gone through the IPP and DMAPP synthesis. Let's see a detailed description for the synthesis of this isopentenyl diphosphate and dimethyl allyl diphosphate. After getting this mevalonic acid, again it will be added with phosphate moiety. ATP will be utilized for this purpose. ATP is the source of power. ATP is called the source of power, from which phosphate will be supplied over there, so that mevalonic acid phosphate will be generated. One more ATP consumed for this phosphorylation process. Later on, we can obtain mevalonate pyrophosphate. Mevalonic acid pyrophosphate will consume the carbon dioxide over there. That is giving rise to isopentenyl pyrophosphate. What is the requirement precursor compound for the synthesis of alpha terpineol within the plant species? IPP can be isomerized. That material required is isopentenyl pyrophosphate isomerase. This enzyme is required in order to transform this IPP into dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate. So both these two are said to be isomeric in nature. This enzyme is a key material in order to transform this isopentenyl pyrophosphate into dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate. After getting these two materials, later on, the next step, this is also the most familiar step only for all kind of terpenoids, that is geranyl diphosphate synthesis. So whenever we got IPP and DMAPP, So next step is geranyl pyrophosphate synthesis. In order to manufacture this one, here is the another enzyme requirement we have. Farnesyl diphosphonate synthase. Let me repeat. Farnesyl diphosphate synthase is required in order to convert this what IPP and DMAPP into geranyl pyrophosphate. So this is the way geranyl pyrophosphate manufacturing is carried. Geranyl pyrophosphate synthase is the enzyme required over there, so that GPP will be synthesized. This is the one which is said to be a key intermediate in the synthesis of most of the terpenes. We already aware about this one. Since the last few days, whatever discussion carried for these terpenes and all those, we are experiencing GPP as the key intermediate for the synthesis of terpenoids. After getting this GPP, we need to go for this conversion that is called lenalul isomeric forms. Both are isomeric in nature. If you observe, that absolute configuration only differs, that OH either existing in the wedge bond or else dotted line bond may be present. So right hand side OH is present, that is said to be our configured lenalul. And if OH is present, that is located left hand side, so that we can designate that compound as a 3s plus lenalul. That is the way this open chain molecule called geranyl pyrophosphate is transformed into this linalool compound. In order to make this linalool, the starting materials like IPP and DMAPP are required. In the enzymatic action, GPP will be generated. That GPP will be combined. The GPP will be combined with another enzyme, giving rise to this linalool isomeric forms of two linalules are observed. Minus denotes it is the levorotatory, plus denotes it is the dextrorotatory. R is absolute configuration at this chiral carbon atom, and this S is the configuration at this chiral center again. This is the way conversion of GPP into linalool is possible. In order to make that GPP into a linalool, the requirement will be linalool synthase. Let me repeat once again. The enzyme requirement will be linalool synthase. Whenever linalool synthase is applied on GPP, that will be transformed into linalool. So that linalool is the another intermediate, we can say. This intermediate will further giving rise to alpha terpineol in the biosynthetic pathway. Let me show the entire route map for the conversion of linalool into alpha terpineol. Linalool can be protonated. Protonation is carried at this hydroxy. In order to add this proton, either of the acid can be applied. Any acid is giving rise to the H plus is able to attach upon this hydroxy, so that we will achieve here oxonium ion. Oxonium ion is highly unfavorable condition for the oxygen. That's the reason why immediately it will accept the bonded electrons and departed from this carbon atom, so that electron lost by the carbon experiencing carbocation intermediate at this carbon. The generated carbocation will participate in a kind of delocalization of electrons, and this giving rise to our delocalization of electrons. Here is another terminal carbocation you can clearly observe. Whatever carbocation, so though here we have to discuss one important point. This is the tertiary carbocation. This is the kind of primary carbocation. Though it is more stabilized, tertiary is more stabilized, but still there is a possibility to achieve this primary again. That is purely because there is a provision for the cyclization. That's the reason why the compound whenever requires the favorable conditions, so that it will go for this kind of transformation also. So this carbocation will participate in the cyclization reaction when these pi electrons are moving towards this end. Here is another possibility to achieve this carbocation over there. The carbocation again generated will be a tertiary one, which is highly stabilized. This is the way carbocation rearrangement is carried within the molecule. All these steps, are mentioned with the double-headed arrows. Double-headed arrows indicates what? Interconvertible. All are interconvertible in nature. Forward is possible at the same time back-end reaction is also proceeded in the same extent. So that is the reason why whenever we are protonating, subsequently removing this water, giving rise to a tertiary carbocation, which will participate in the rearrangement, giving rise to another carbocation. This carbocation immediately moving with the cyclization reaction, giving another tertiary carbocation. That tertiary carbocation will be further go for addition of water, said to be a hydration process. Whenever hydrated, this carbocation is hydrated, subsequent removal of H plus is required, being H plus is consumed at the starting step of this linalool, so that we have to depart H plus once again, so that OH minus will be attached at this carbon atom. Ultimately, there is a possibility to generate this alpha terpineol as the alpha terpineol as the final product what we are expecting for, right? So along with this alpha terpineol, there is a provision to get this terpene for all also, but maximum extent this is the possibility, because let me explain why this is the possibility. So whenever this double bond is moving toward this side, tertiary carbocation will be a more stable one. That's the reason why alpha terpineol formation is the major product. So this is the way biosynthetic pathway is clearly mentioned. We have to start with the 3-acetyl coenzyme A, and the entire mechanism proceeded with the mevalonic acid pathway, IPP and dimethylallyl pyrophosphate, two are the precursors for the synthesis. They further transformed into GPP. GPP further giving rise to a new compound said to be a linalool. This is the intermediate compound required for the synthesis of alpha terpineol. Under protic conditions, we can say acidified conditions are required. So reaction mixture must be acidified in order to generate the carbocation that will delocalize the entire molecule, giving rise to a cyclized compound. Further hydration giving rise to alpha terpineol as the final product. By this, biosynthetic pathway is completed, and the next segment will be a spectral analysis of alpha terpineol. How can we confirm its structural skeleton? That is carried by various spectral elements. We can say, let's go with the IR spectroscopy. When alpha terpineol is subjected to infrared spectroscopic method, infrared spectroscopy meant for functional group identification. Within the molecule, the functional groups which are most which are giving characteristic peaks in the IR spectrum. R1 is hydroxy, another is about the double bond. So these two are the important things. So let me check what kind of peaks are observed in the IR spectroscopy. Alcoholic group is a primary functional group over there that giving rise to a peak, characteristic peak in the IR spectrum. And aliphatic and olefinic, both the kind of carbon hydrogen stretching peaks are observed over, because here we have a double bond, so that olefinic hydrogens are characteristic. Only one olefinic hydrogen is observed over here, and another aliphatic hydrogens also present in this molecule, so that there is a provision for carbon hydrogen aliphatic and olefinic proton as well. And there is a provision, another provision for carbon-carbon double bond stretch. That stretch is available within the molecule cyclic structure. This is said to be an endocyclic double bond, that olefinic double bond giving rise to another characteristic peak in the IR spectrum. And peak positions also mentioned over there, and wave number, which is measured in the centimeter inverse, and corresponding functional groups also mentioned here, and what kind of signal and what kind of peak, that description is also provided in the tabular form. Whenever 3,200 to 3,600 centimeter inverse peak is observed, that is clearly mentioned in this spectral graph. That peak corresponds to the OH stretching. This is the characteristic peak for hydroxyl functional group. And 2850 to 2950 centimeter inverse wave number peak is another peak observed over. That is for aliphatic carbon hydrogen. Aliphatic carbon hydrogen stretch is also observed. That is for sp3 hybridized carbon atoms. You can clearly observe here methyl, here methyl, here methyl. Those are giving rise to the peaks near 2850 to 2950. 3000 to 3100 carbon hydrogen stretch, olefinic stretch, that only one hydrogen is mentioned because this carbon is already its valency got satisfied, and this carbon hydrogen only one hydrogen left over, that is sp2 carbon hybridized carbon hydrogen bond is observed at 3000 to 3100 position centimeter inverse. And any other characteristic requirement for carbon-carbon double bond stretch, which absorb at 1640 to 1680 centimeter inverse value. This indicates the presence of endocyclic double bond within the molecule. And in either the fingerprint region, you can clearly mention, clearly observe, that is 1000 to 1200 centimeter inverse value. That is for what? Here is the carbon, here is the oxygen. That CO stretch is also clearly giving rise to a peak over there. The entire characteristic spectral peaks are mentioned in this graph, where centimeter inverse wave number was taken on the x coordinate of the graph, and here percentage of transmittance was taken in the y coordinate, and it is the characteristic graph, spectral graph for the molecule called alpha terpineol. Let's go with another segment called a proton NMR spectroscopy analysis for that compound called alpha terpineol. Alpha terpineol is when subjected to proton NMR spectroscopy, where nature or environment of the protons or hydrogens are characteristic peaks in this proton NMR spectroscopy. How many types of hydrogens are available, that giving rise to the segment of peaks in this proton NMR spectroscopy. Chemical shift values for characteristic hydroxy, we have this hydroxy hydrogen is giving rise to the peak at 3.5 to 4.5. It may shift it to another region. There is a provision for the hydrogen bonding because hydroxy is polar in nature. Under protic conditions, it may participate. Not only under protic conditions, within the molecule also there is a provision for hydrogen bonding. That's the reason why the value may be dragged towards a downward field so that the peak is appeared near the 5.5 around. And here we have another the proton adjacent to the OH. Adjacent to the OH, CH protons are available when methyl, another methyl, both are experiencing some deshielding effect so that the chemical shift values are shifted 3 to 3.5 ppm. So that 3 to 3.5 ppm peaks are prone for this methyl protons only, but they are deshielded due to the presence of electronegative hydroxy oxygen. In either olefinic protons are there. Whenever double bond is present because of anisotropic effect, double bonded hydrogens are showing the peaks somewhat downfield, that is 4.5 to 5.5. Everybody aware that compared to the triple bonded hydrogen, double bonded hydrogen is the most deshielded, that is because of anisotropic effect. That's the reason why 4.5 to 5.5 characteristic peak is observed for olefinic proton only, right? When we come to this aliphatic proton, sorry, CH3, here free CH3 is available, which is nowhere related with any electronegative atom, so that obviously this giving rise to the peak near to this 1 ppm only. At the range of 0.8 to 1.2 ppm, the peak for this methyl is observed. And methylene protons also there. Here we have CH2, here we have CH2, here also CH2 is there. All these methylene protons are not experiencing deshielding, so that they are in the shielding zone. So the values are near to 1 to 2.0 ppm only. This is the way methyl protons are able to exhibit the peaks in this proton NMR spectroscopy. Allylic proton is also there. Allylic is said to be, what is meant by allylic? Whenever double bond is present, adjacent carbon is called allylic carbon atom. right? Alpha carbon with respect to double bond is called allylic carbon atom. The hydrogens present on that carbon are called allylic hydrogens. Those allylic hydrogens, double bond CCH3, double bond CCH3 are called allylic protons. Only these allylic protons characteristic peak appeared at 1.5 to 2.5 ppm. This is the way the entire proton NMR spectra of this alpha terpineol is solved. So hopefully this is more clear. OH protons are giving characteristic peak at 3.5 to 4.5, and methane protons will be there, and we have olefinic proton and aliphatic protons will be there, allylic proton will be there. This is the way characteristic peaks are very clearly mentioned in this proton NMR spectrum of that alpha terpineol, and they also mentioned in either depiction and either graphical representation where the compound dissolved in deuterated chloroform, and this is the way the peak fragmentation and high resolution spectra is also clearly mentioned. The purpose for drawing high resolution spectra here will be high resolution spectra where you are going to get the ppm values of the nature of the protons in this downward condition, and here whatever spectral graph absorbed in the upward direction will corresponds to the C13 NMR spectra, where within the single graph there is a provision to get the proton NMR and C13 NMR spectral details. Here the values are 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 to 40. All these corresponds to the nature of carbon atom, and if the ppm values are laying in between the 0 to 12, that is the nature of the protons. So that here two different crops are compiled in the single one, where proton NMR is observed and C13 NMR is also present in the single graph. This is the way the nature of protons and carbon are mentioned in the single one. C13 NMR spectrum of alpha terpineol is able to give the the carbon which is holding this hydroxyl is characteristic for the 60 to 70 ppm. If you observe 60 to 70, this is the peak. This is the peak corresponds to what? Carbon which is holding this hydroxyl. Carbon upon which hydroxyl is present, this carbon is giving the peak in between the 60 to 70. And olefinic carbons will be there. So double bonded carbons are characteristic at 120 to 140. If you observe 120 and 140, you can observe the peaks. These are for what? Double bonded carbon atoms, olefinic one, and aliphatic carbons will be there. You can notice methyl carbons are there, methylene carbons are there. They are ranging at 10 to 40 ppm. So here 10 to 40 ppm multiple peaks are noticed. That is because here we have multiple carbons corresponds to that CH3 and CH2 as well. That's the reason why the CH3 and CH2 are giving the peaks at the range of 10 to 40 ppm. Multiple peaks we can notice. The quaternary carbon is also there. Quaternary carbon means what? The carbon where we are having four bonds around that. That is called a quaternary carbon. The carbon which is holding to hydroxyl is said to be what? A ring carbon in the ring or attached to the OH. Here how many are there? The carbon within the ring. The carbon within the ring. Here we have what? Quaternary, and there at this carbon also you can notice here is one bond, second bond, third bond, fourth bond. If four bonds are present, that is said to be quaternary carbon atom. So no hydrogens are laying, rather all bounded with another functional groups only. That is said to be quaternary carbon, whose characteristic peak at 40 to 60. 40 to 60 peak will be there. So in between 40 to 60, you can notice another peak. This is the taller one, right? So that is for what? It corresponds to the quaternary carbon atom. The entire C13 analysis carried at 25 megahertz frequency, and CdCl3 is nothing but deuterated chloroform was taken as a solvent medium, and the entire graph was plotted on the delta scale by measuring the ppm values over there, and this is corresponding to the nature of the carbon atoms present in the molecule. Later on, we entered into next segment called alpha terpineol, tested for the UV visible region, UV visible spectroscopy. UV visible spectroscopy that generally utilized for the detection of unsaturation present in the molecule. Whether the molecule is cyclic or acyclic can be mentioned over there by means of Woodward-Fisher rules. By applying Woodward-Fisher rules, it is possible to identify conjugated systems are present in the molecule or not. Double bond is laying within the ring system or outside the ring system. This is the data provided by this UV visible spectroscopy. But this UV visible region weak absorption is noticed for this alpha terpineol. That is only possibility will be double bond. Wherever double bond is present within the molecule, that double bond is participating in pi to pi star kind of electronic transition within the molecule. That pi to pi star transition is occurred at the range of 190 to 250 nanometers value. Whenever 190 to 250 nanometer broad peak you are going to observe, that is corresponds to pi to pi star electronic transition due to the existence of double bond within the ring structure, being it is the kind of monocyclic system, so that this double bond giving a peak at 190 to 250 nanometers range. Narrow peak we are going to notice, and it is a smaller one, and electronic transition is pi to pi star we can notice. This is the way carbon-carbon double bond, olefinic double bond is mentioned. By the entire data, we confirmed that spectral analysis giving for the alpha terpineol is it is the cyclic compound, and double bond is laying within the molecule, and there is a quaternary carbon atom where it is holding hydroxyl functional group, and there is a existence of methylene, methyl, and allylic methyl group is also present within the molecule. The entire valuable information is provided by using that spectral analysis. Now we entered into another segment called the lab scale synthesis of this alpha terpineol. Laboratory grade synthesis we are going to do with this. In order to synthesize the precursor compound taken is alpha pinene. So the compound required is alpha pinene. Alpha pinene, along with that, here it is mentioned with the limonene. Limonene is also another precursor. From limonene also it is possible to synthesize, but in our laboratory scale synthesis, it was taken as alpha pinene. Please make a correction over there. Instead of limonene, we have to think it as a alpha pinene. And a sodium borohydrate was taken. Sorry for the interruption. Here, the compound was changed. Alpha pinene was chosen. Alpha pinene is the precursor for the synthesis of alpha terpineol in the laboratory grade synthesis. And here is the catalyst we are going to apply will be the acid catalyst. Mild acid was taken, that is trifluoroacetic acid. Ethanol taken as a solvent, and water is also used for the workup process, and hydrochloric acid is used for the workup, and ice is required to quench the reaction at particular instance and to solidify the entire reactants into a crystalline form. This is the way the requirement of the materials for the synthesis of alpha terpineol are there, and apparatus required for this alpha terpineol synthesis or reflex is required because reactants to be heated beyond their boiling point value, so that the rate of reaction will be in the higher range, so that reflex conditions are required. Separatory funnel in order to separate the aqueous and organic layers in this manner, so the separating funnel we are using. Rotary evaporator is another requirement in order to purify the compound. Rotary evaporator, the important purpose, the primary purpose will be separation of impurities or any unreacted part if present, or else any byproduct generated within the molecule can be separated. That is called what? Purification. So for that purification, rotary evaporator is a requirement. This is optional only, but it will give the high grade quality for the given compound. Round bottom flask where the reaction mixture to be reflexed. That is the reason why we are choosing this round bottom flask. And a stirring bar is required. So this stirring bar is required because continuously we need to mix up the reactants in the uniform manner. For that purpose, these stirring rods are very essential. All these are the equipments required for the manufacturing of alpha terpineol in the lab grade process. The entire procedure is provided where we are taking starting material, which is called a precursor, that is alpha pinene. Alpha pinene to be taken, and it should be mixed up with the steam and aqueous solution of chloroacetic acid. Chloroacetic acid is a mild oxidizing agent, just now we saw. In the organic field, in terms of organic, it is a strong acid only. But in general, in comparison to the mineral acids, we can say it is mild acid. So that chloroacetic acid is acidifying agent over here, and they should be mixed in the tea mixer. After mixing this, the combined steam then flows through the homemade static mixer, right? So there is a kind of column we have that combined steam should be attached with this column that is fixed with the glass wool in order to avoid the loss of vapors. In order to retain the compound in the maximum extent, that kind of condenser, water condenser or else column should be fitted over there, which is equipped with the glass wool. And it used to react with this reactor coil and externally heated at the temperature 80 degrees centigrade for the period of 15 minutes. 15 minutes time duration is sufficient in order to complete the entire reaction, and the temperature to be maintained at 80 degrees centigrade. The reagents were pumped to maintain the 1:1 molar reaction between the acid and the substrate. So the reactant to be mixed in such a way where 1:1 ratio of the starting material called alpha pinene and this chloroacetic acid to be taken in the equimolar ratio. We can say 1:1 is said to be equimolar ratio to be taken for our reaction completion of the reaction, and the total flow can be taken 1.12 milliliters per minute. This is the way the reaction flow rate will be calculated. It is a kind of 60% flow rate over there, alpha pinene, and 40% flow rate, that is 27 molar acid solution to be taken here. In order to mix up 1:1 molar ratio of this alpha pinene and this chloroacetic acid, their molar calculated amounts also mentioned over 0.68 ml of alpha pinene to be mixed up with 27 molar solution of 0.44 ml of this trifluoroacetic acid solution calculated. That means a quantified amount is also provided in order to make the easier way for the synthesis, where the conservation of this product will be high, and there is the high yield production of alpha terpineol is possible. Only the requirement here is alpha pinene to be acidified. Later on it will go for ring opening and giving rise to this bicyclic system will be turned into a monocyclic one. That is only the requirement for the conversion of alpha pinene into a alpha terpineol. So let's see the detailed mechanism in order to convert alpha pinene into alpha terpineol, where you can clearly notice alpha pinene already we completed the session. The entire description regarding this alpha pinene. It is the bicyclic compound where 6-membered ring it is fused with the 4-membered ring within. And there is another double bond we had, and here is the methyl. And here is 2 methyl groups are provided upon this 6-membered ring system. So this is alpha pinene, and it used to extract the proton from trifluoroacetic acid. Trifluoroacetic acid is giving H plus, so that these pi bonded electrons are attracting this H plus, giving rise to our intermediate. This is the key step over there. Carbocation intermediate will be generated. Being four-membered ring is highly sterically strained and it is more prone to open the ring system. Here is the cleavage possibility of this four-membered ring. Whenever this bond is cleaving, and here is the new double bond generation is possible. Whenever these bonded electrons are migrating and these carbon experiencing lack of electrons, loss of electrons is mentioned with the positive, that is a tertiary carbocation. The tertiary carbocation generated further hydrated with water molecules so that oxygen, being it is accompanied by the two lone pair of electrons, conveniently giving electrons to this deficient carbon atom, and there is a generation of oxonium ion. The oxonium ion immediately loses the He plus. Whenever He plus lost, bonded electrons are retained by the oxygen so that oxygen able to retain its two lone pair of electrons upon and giving to this hydroxy functional group over here. The entire molecule whatever generated is called alpha terpineol. This is the way alpha terpineol will be synthesized starting from alpha pinene. So this is the lab grade synthetic pathway which is very laboratory viable method. Within very small steps only it is possible to accomplish the final compound whatever we are targeting, that is alpha terpineol is from alpha pinene is possible. And we entered into another segment called application part, applications of this alpha terpineol to be discussed. Alpha terpineol is a monoterpene, that is alcoholic compound everybody aware, and several notable applications are mentioned for this compound in the industrial purpose because of its pleasant floral aroma. All the essential oils are characterized by their fragrance and perfumery tendency. Diffusion will be there, so that aroma is a common characteristic for this kind of alpha terpineol. And apart from that, potential therapeutic applications also are added advantage for this alpha terpineol. Some of the key applications are mentioned in this slide. Fragrance and perfumery. Being it is essential oil, lalic aroma smell is the characteristic for this alpha terpineol. So the fragrance industry we are using as a floral lalic like scent perfumes. Deodorant manufacturing also it is a kind of ingredient, and even in the soap manufacturing it requires the oily substance in order to make that fragrant. In the personal care products, skin care products, there also we are using. Apart from this is the kind of perfume you can notice, deodorants and soaps. Among all, it is the kind of key ingredient in this, and it used to impart the fragrance in the cleansing agents also, so that floor cleaning and detergents in that also it is the part for the cleaning process. In the cosmetics, so being it is a kind of oily in nature and moisturizing in nature and also having fragrance in nature, because of all these properties it is the ingredient in the cosmetics as well. Lotions you can incorporate, and even in the creams it is the part. This alpha terpineol is the part in these kind of skincare products, and even in the shampoos you can notice this alpha terpineol. And there is a property called antimicrobial insecticidal property is also there, so that it is a better ingredient in soaps and also any skincare products in order to make that kind of disinfection process. Antimicrobial and antifungal properties. This is also another important property for this alpha terpineol. Alpha terpineol is able to kill the disease-causing organisms like bacteria, virus, fungi, algae, and so many other microbial organisms, unicellular organisms. Antimicrobial property is a common criteria for the disinfection and also antiseptic property of this one, so that in so many kind of insecticidal, sorry, and in antiseptic lotions and also in the insecticidal solutions you can incorporate this alpha terpineol. Another important application, it is having highly fragrant smell and very pleasant smell will be there. Lilac type of aroma smell is imparted from alpha terpineol. That is the reason why it is having the calming effect. It used to introduce that relaxation. Whenever we are in the vicinity of that alpha terpineol, that used to give the stress, removal of the stress level, and relaxation is the common positive thing added by this alpha terpineol, so that promote the relaxation is also important therapeutic application. We can notice obviously stress levels when reduced and relaxation introduced into the mankind, so sleeping quality of those people will be enhanced, so that the people who are very near vicinity of alpha terpineol are away from the stress and near to the relaxation, and their sleep quality will be higher. It is also being researched for its a potential relief to pain and also inflammations. Wherever pain conditions are present, wherever a kind of severe hurt is there, at that condition also it is possible to cure by means of alpha terpineol. There is a kind of research. So there is an ongoing research upon that pain relieving and inflammation relieving tendencies, right? Insecto repellent. This kind of alpha terpineol, whenever we are applying at croplands or else at industrial grain storage devices or else household purpose, they are having the very important property repellent towards mosquitoes and also towards insects. That's the reason why insect repellent property is another advantage for this one, so that we can easily spray them. They used to impart the aroma smell for the human, and they used to repel the mosquitoes and insects as well. That's why insect repellent property is another important one. Here, food and beverages, being it is a kind of essential oil that also improvise the flavor of the foods, so that we can use this alpha terpineol as a flavoring agent in the food and beverages, but not very common. But there is a provision. There is a provision to improve the taste of that food material, so that in food and beverages, it is the kind of flavoring ingredient we can add in order to improvise the taste of those products, but not in the common practice. So sometimes you may use this. Industrial applications. This alpha terpineol is utilized as one of the key ingredient in manufacturing of plastics and resin products. It is also the kind of solvent in organic industry, raw material for the synthesis of any other chemicals. Also, by using this alpha terpineol, other chemical manufacturing is also possible. In order to dissolve any other substance in this, it acts as a solvent also, so that it is also the ingredient used in our plastic industry. So many kind of applications you can notice in an industrial context of alpha terpineol. By this, we concluded the session. It is the of comprehensive description regarding the alpha terpineol, from where you are going to extract this product and what is the kind of source for alpha terpineol extraction, and how the biological transformation is possible within the plants in order to make this alpha terpineol, and how can we confirm that alpha terpineol structure by means of spectral analysis? Is it possible to synthesize within the laboratory? Laboratory grade synthesis is also clearly discussed. Later on, in what way this alpha terpineol is helpful for the mankind? Comprehensive applications are discussed in the elaborated manner. Hopefully, the session is very informative, and I'm really thankful for all the viewers who are patient to listen the entire session. And it is more important those who are preparing for this higher level natural products, and also the scholars who are working upon the natural products, and even the laboratory synthesis of organic compounds in multiple dimensions. It will